Hey everyone, welcome to Random Encounters, episode five, six, five,
Five, I
five.
think. Yeah.
Every Wednesday here on twitch.tv/game night now, we get together and talk about games. I'm joined, as always, by the shiny one, Mex.
Hello.
He probably didn't play it, Steve.
Hi.
And joining us for the first time, Jeff. How are you?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, so it's a little tradition on the show that we ask the newcomers to tell us what their favorite video game of all time is. And I'm actually going to expand that. It doesn't need to be a video game. It can be a board game or a card game because we talk about all things games. So what is your favorite game of all time?
Favorite game of all time would probably be Super Mario 6 Golden Coins. I've played it since I was a kid. But if I had to pick the game I go back to over and over again, it's a toss-up between original Tetris or Age of Empires 2.
Two Game Boy games on there.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That I remember when that 6 Golden Coins first came out. Compared to the first Mario game on the Game Boy, which was a completely it was a similar idea, but they really kind of took some liberties with it. That second Mario game on the Game Boy was amazing. So I can definitely see why that's your favorite game of all time.
I make it a point to play through it once or twice a year.
Very good, very good.
That's a dedication right there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
go
like
back
6
and
hours.
Play a Game Boy game that you've probably played like 30 times.
I mean, it's not like 53 hours of shiny hunting, but
Yeah.
it's up there.
And so Tetris is the other one. Have you played any Tetris Effect yet?
I have. I haven't tried it in VR though, but it's one of those games you can just put on and kind of zone out and till you mess up and then you freak out. But
I'm definitely
That's
looking
one of
forward to. Yeah, it's one of those games where I'm waiting for a rainy day. I'm waiting until I'm like sick of Smash, and then I'm probably going to jump into Tetris Effect for a while.
yeah, it's a good time.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, since we're talking about what you're currently playing, what are you playing this week? Start with you, Jeff.
Yeah, I beat Golf Story on the bus today.
Nice.
Golf Story. Is
Yeah,
that
I,
actual like golf? Is that on the Switch?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the Switch. It's golf with quotation marks. More like Mario Golf RPG kind of story.
I was
Okay.
gonna say, I heard that was like an RPG.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, like Sarah was looking for something for her dad because he just retired. So he really likes golf, and he bought a Switch for his daughter for Christmas. So we're like, oh, we should buy him a golf game because he really likes golf. But if that's not like an actual golf game, then yeah, seems like a bad idea.
You can play 9 holes, a couple different courses, but it's more for the story than the golf.
Okay.
Golf
Well,
story.
maybe we'll pass on the golf story then.
The pixel art, if he's looking for golf, the pixel art might turn him off. But I probably have about 10 hours in that. I've been taking my time with it. It's a fun game. I like it.
Chat said, Lovers in a Dangerous Something, Crash Lands, and Overcooked 2. I played some Crash Lands and it wasn't bad.
Was that
It's-
the game with the guns with the picture? I forget.
I'm
Or
not
is that-
sure.
Is that
The,
something else?
the preview looks
No,
a
that's
little.
Borderlands, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
Borderlands.
Yeah,
the
that's
art
different.
style is
Yeah.
a little like putty-y in a way, like almost like a weird claymation. I played it on PC when it came out, and it kind of is like a Don't Starve, if you've ever seen or played that. It's like the same sort of isometric view, run around, pick up things, build a base, stay alive.
That game, by the way, Don't Starve, is still like very popular on Twitch. Like I still see it like up here in the ranks of like the top maybe 20 games played. So
Yeah, I
maybe
tried
we
to
should
play that.
maybe we should play it. I don't know.
I tried to play it with Shank a while back, but it was still relatively new, and the art style takes some getting used to if you're not really into Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Well, I've been doing nothing but playing Smash Brothers. I'm
Have you
very
Unlocked
frustrated
all
with
the
it right now.
characters.
Oh yeah, I did that in the first day or two, just starting a game up, resetting, starting a game, resetting over and over again to get them all unlocked.
Yeah.
I have no interest in any of the other single player stuff. It seems really grindy and not something I'm into. But
You don't want to get all
I
the
don't-
spirits and whatever.
no, there's like a 1,200 of those things. It's like a 60-hour playtime. I know.
That's nothing.
I'm
I can
talking,
do 60
I'm
hours in a
talking
week.
the
What is
king
wrong
of
with
grinding
you?
over here. Well, maybe I should just give it to you, and you can grind out all the stickers for me, or whatever the hell they
Sure.
call
Yeah,
them.
I could play 3 Switches at the same time while I'm shiny hunting, and just grind out all the spirits for you.
I have completely fallen apart. I don't know if the bad people just stopped playing Smash Brothers, or I have no idea. I went from 2.7 million global Smash ranking down to like 200. I fell apart in the last couple nights. So I need to grind myself back up, get back into the Elite Smash, and then fall the hell back out again, because that's all really good players up there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just really bad at Smash, and apparently, like, my Pokemon game is evolving, or at least the people in my chat are evolving into, playing Smash now. So I think I'm losing my Pokemon followers.
No,
to
I've
Smash.
got some ideas. I've got some ideas. If Smash is something that they're interested in, we could host, and even if you don't play, we could host a tournament on the stream. Meaning we get everybody together that wants to play. You hop on, but as a spectator,
No, I
hop
can play.
on. You can play too.
I would have to unlock Jigglypuff and learn how to play the game.
Yeah, I told you can go back and re-challenge him, or I can do it for you if you need me to. But
But it's not a shiny Jigglypuff, so it's not really worth it.
It's not a green-eyed Jigglypuff. I mean,
I think if
that's
you-
the only
I
character
think if you change
would
it-
learn.
I think if you change it to the green Jigglypuff with the green headband on, it does have green eyes.
Really?
I
I
think.
mean, I mean, there's so many like different outfits for the characters that could be a thing.
But yeah, if they want Smash, we can give them Smash. Steve, what have you been playing?
A small mix of things, but a majority of my time is XCOM. I bought that over the Christmas sale.
You're talking about
Solid
XCOM
game.
2?
XCOM 2. I bought like the full-on package because it was like $100 worth of shit for like $34. So it's like War of the Chosen and a bunch of other packs. So I've been chipping away at that for a few hours a night whenever I can get away. Been having a lot of fun with it. I instantly downloaded like a bunch of mods from work because I had some time, and you can subscribe to the workshop mods. So I'm not playing it 100% how you're supposed to. I sort of bent it towards my speed, but I did take a cue from XCOM 1 because I had read a thing where they're like, put people you know in the game because then you have more of a connection to them if something terrible or something good happens to them. And so I put everybody I know in it because you have to have a huge goddamn roster in that game. Because every time you take somebody out and they get shot, they're like, I'm out for like a month. I've been shot in the foot. Or they get tired even if they don't get shot. So it's just a constant revolving door of people. So I have everybody that I know, including everyone in here except Jeff and your significant others. And it turns out there's a bonds thing. So the more you're with certain people, the more you'll sort of like bond to them. And I've been trying to play like matchmaker. So Dan, you and Mindy always go on missions together, and Ryan and Sarah always go on missions together. And there's like a natural progression. So it took like 2 missions before Dan and Mindy were good to go. And Ryan, you and Sarah still hate each other and have been on like every mission that you can. Like, so
You can't force 2 people to be together, Steve.
no, I can't. So I've been doing that and I've been enjoying it. Ever since we got together over the weekend to play that Sentinels game, they showed me a mobile app version, so I've been playing that, and it hasn't been that bad. I like it, although it's a lot of money to unlock the other cards, so I'm gonna skip out on that.
I mean, the Sentinel game feels a lot like Arkham to me, just like with the environments and like the boss and all the enemies and stuff. So I can understand why you really enjoy that game. You know?
I just found it interesting, and I wanted to try out the different characters. I actually talked to Eric about it because some of them I definitely don't like, and some of them I think are a little overpowered. But I still like the card game aspect of it because certain people can just like fly off the handle and be super amazing right away. Or if you get a bad hand, you just have a character that's struggling the entire time and can't get out of it.
So you said it's a mobile version of that. Like, did you play online, or is it like you play against computer? Like, like PvE stuff, or what is it?
You can play online, and Eric and I tried to do it once, but I don't know if he kept leaving or there was a bug. But we couldn't really get together, and he said it didn't matter because you have to have at least 3 people to start a game. So I have been playing by myself just to try the characters out and get used to them. And I did successfully play against a robot guy in the city, and they spawned some cops as the environment, and I got him down to 1, and the cops shot him to death. So the heroes did not win that mission.
Isn't that how we like won our board game?
Or
the cops got him down to 1. I think.
Yeah, we were the opposite. They got him almost dead, and then we finished the job. But
yeah,
that was pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoyed the game, and I do. Like I said, I can understand why you enjoyed that game, because I think while we were playing it, I thought like this is very similar to Arkham, so I can see.
Yeah, in a way,
I feel like just all like the pieces and crap like everywhere. It's definitely got an Arkham feel to it.
Yeah, that's kind of why I like the digital version a little bit better, because you don't have to deal with that. Somebody asked, so how is it? How is the game? Like, how is it played? It's just like everybody has these hero decks, and you play a pretty simple turn of it's not draw a card, it's play a card, use a power, draw a card, skip your turn. So you play with like 3 to 5 heroes, and then the boss just like goes, you play a card, they usually like hit everybody for damage or blow up everybody's equipment. And there's also an environmental turn where a like neutral thing sort of happens that can be good or bad for you, and it just keeps going round and round. So it is kind of like a TCG, but there's no actual collecting. It is a lot of fun, but I can understand why Eric doesn't want to buy any of the expansion packs in the game, like in the digital game, because they're probably just as expensive as the ones out of the game. Because I think there's only like 5 character decks out of like, I don't know, something like 40. And you can buy season passes for like the first and second season, and you get a lot of decks, but it's like $25. So it up front, if I want everything, it's like $50. And I'm happy with like the $7 that I paid for it just to play on and off. This morning, Ragnarok M Eternal Love, which is a really stupid fucking name, but it's a Japanese game.
I was gonna say that sounds Japanese, romance game. That's what don't even describe it. That's what it is.
No, it's you've never heard of Ragnarok, the MMO?
No.
Yeah, it's a pretty old but sort of niche series. I kept getting ads for it and like everything online, so I decided to give it a shot. It actually is kind of interesting, the play style, but the more I look into it, the more it just seems like every other goddamn mobile game, because you can sort of like auto fight if you want to, but if you do that, every time you're in a battle, your stamina starts to drain, and you only get so much stamina a day, and you can probably pay money to get it back. And mobile games
sounds
are
like every
universal.
mobile game, you know.
Yeah,
probably pay money.
Definitely
yeah.
pay money.
Oh yeah.
Almost all mobile games, in my opinion, are garbage, except for ones that are ports of things, which is why Sentinels gets a pass, because it's a port of an actual board game. So
I was playing Nintendo's Dragalia Lost, their like gotcha mobile game, for a little bit, just because it was a Nintendo game. But I'm just not a mobile game player.
No, I can't deal with them anymore. Like, I'll download them as little time wasters, but it's all the same sort of formula in different packages, and I get really annoyed with it.
Well, Max, I think this is a dumb question, but what have you been playing?
I've been playing. I don't know if you've heard of this game before, but it's called Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu.
Could you explain that? What kind of game is that?
It's like a game where there's these little animals on the ground, and you run around and collect them.
Is it like an obsessive collecting, or
like there's one mechanic in it where you can like keep clicking on them, and they'll eventually turn a slightly different color.
And then
it takes a very, very long time.
Would you say you're trying to collect, or maybe gotta catch them all?
Would you say I'm trying to catch them all? Probably, yeah.
Actually, you're trying to go above and beyond catching them all, technically.
That's true. I'm basically
So
trying to, yeah.
would
catch
you
it.
say you're the very best?
Am I the very best? No, I would not say I'm the
Like
very
no one
best.
ever was.
Maybe. I don't
Would you say that catching them is your real test?
know. I would say it's my cause. I don't know.
I thought training them was your cause.
Oh, I don't
Thank
know.
you.
It's been a long time since it's been a long time since I heard that song. So yeah.
All right, man. Well, you're in week 2 of essentially being a full-time streamer. This is your first week back at a real job. How are you finding balancing work life and streaming life?
Well, my boss is in Hawaii for a month, so it's been very easy to sneak home early and try to stream earlier because I do believe my base is widely European. So if you stream starting at 7 p.m. here, you know what time it is there? Like 1 in the morning. So they're not going to be watching me.
It's a good thing this isn't on the internet though. So
Yeah, I mean, I do need more like American viewers, I think, just because you know, the timing issues and whatnot. But I don't know. I think it's going okay. We'll see in a month, you know, how well we're doing, and you know, we can progress from there, I guess.
So,
I mean, I'm enjoying it. It's a
so
lot
next, so next week is going to be the real test. That's when the boss comes home and you got to start streaming.
Oh
in the
no, he
evenings.
won't be back till February. So
Your dad's gone until February.
yeah, he's gone for a month. So
Good stuff. All right. So look forward to some.
there will be
1 p.m. starts.
maybe
for the near
some
future.
9 a.m. Streams also. So
Well, while we're on work-life balance, I have a minor bone to pick with Dan. So, a couple weeks ago, you accused me of being cheap when
Yes.
it came to games, and there is a difference between being cheap and just not having money to buy stuff. So, I actually found some pretty shocking information a couple days ago because it's tax season and everybody's getting all their shit ready for that.
All right. Drop some
And-
knowledge on me.
Yeah. So I told you kids ruin everything, right? Your life is over when you have kids. That's why we just had a goodbye party for Dan. Or not Dan,
for,
Jeff.
For other Jeff.
other Jeff.
So-
yeah.
How much do you guys think? Actually, Jeff, do you have kids?
I do not have kids. Did you see
Okay,
the collection of games behind me earlier? There's no kids here.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have an extremely impressive game library behind you. That if we could get your camera and mic to work,
Yeah,
properly,
we definitely gotta get that figured out.
If I could get it as impressive as my game collection as my shitty webcam, we'd be set.
You gotta buy one of these microphones. They were like $20 on Amazon.
Yeah,
It looks-
next time I see them,
It
next
looks
time I see them on
professional,
sale.
but it's like a total piece of shit.
I was gonna say that was my entire webcam budget there.
So, I was telling you before, kids ruin everything and whatnot, because now my playtime is super limited, and I need to make sure what I buy is not only worth the money but worth the time to play, because that's my current factor whenever I buy a game. It's either cheap enough that I don't care, or it's going to be good enough that I don't mind spending the money.
That is
So,
the saddest damn thing I've ever heard.
For 2018, how much do you think it costs to send a child to daycare for the year?
Now you do all day daycare, 5 days a week.
Yeah, the only difference if you don't have like a private person is like part-time or full-time, but it's full-time.
Full-time daycare.
Yep.
I'm gonna
take a wild
say
guess.
Let's say like 2,000 a
If-
month.
$15,000 for the year.
1501.
1501.
1502.
Are we
Price is writing that.
It seems like we're doing Price is Right rules.
Well,
Actual
I win a
retail price.
$1.
you're close. Does that come through at all?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says 14,000, I think.
Yeah.
No, we all went over. That's
Yeah.
still a disgusting amount of money.
It's $14,259.16 to send the child to daycare, which
Wow.
if you're not aware, is actually ruinously expensive to have to shell out $500 every 2 weeks for daycare on top of just like basic everyday stuff, and then mortgage, car payments, insurance. It adds up extraordinarily fast. So
I don't see why you're blaming us, dude. That's on you.
Yeah,
No,
you're the one that
but-
had the kid.
yeah. Well,
I've never met the kid, but I can tell you, I don't think he's worth 14,000.
Well, I don't think he is either because it's a she. But yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of money.
Well,
Yeah.
I got a game for you then, Steve. I send my dog to daycare. How much do you think I spent on doggy daycare last year?
Again, is there a part-time, full-time, or is it per day?
He goes 2 days a week.
Hmm.
Let's say it's on par with the child.
I want to
Sage
say
goes 5 days a week. Is that right?
yeah. I mean,
So,
you pay for 5.
We'll divide it by 2/5, I guess. So let's say
I want to say 50.
I want to
bucks.
see next to this man.
$5,000 a year
Yeah, I
for
can't do
doggy
math
daycare.
either. I want to say $100 a week times what is it, 32 weeks? So I'll say
Do,
$4,000.
do they feed the dog?
They do, but my dog is on a special diet because he gets the runs. You guys are a little bit over. I spent $2,600 on doggy daycare
That's
last
pretty
year.
close. I was
All
only
right,
off
well,
by double, but
when you want to see how fast the other $12,000 disappears, and then you're sitting there trying to make a decision over whether or not you want to pay $40 for Monster Hunter or $36 for XCOM 2 and agonize over that decision, then yeah.
No, the goal here, I'm gonna get some. If we can start making some non-Pokemon Go money. So if anybody's watching this, I would love you to watch this in some other formats. Drop a follow, drop a subscribe if you have that Twitch Prime available, because I want to get some accounts together that are like the streaming accounts, like EA's Access Premiere and Microsoft, their streaming, not their streaming service, their download service, so that we could have like you can say, hey, like I want to play this game, it's on this service, can I have it this night? And then we'll have access to any game that we can pay the $10 a month, so we can keep our topics a little bit more topical.
you think we
So-
can make $10 a month here? Do you know how hard that's gonna be?
Yeah, no, I understand. It's a stretch goal. It's a lofty goal, but if we can get there, if you, for the love of God, get your wife to subscribe to our goddamn channel. She's not using the Twitch Prime. I know she's not.
I'll look into it.
All right. Well, let's take us into the first topic because we're already like 40 minutes in and we haven't even gotten to topic 1 yet. It's been a long running discussion on this channel about different storefronts and Steve's inability to leave Steam behind. Well, Steam just got a pretty big blow. The Division 2 is not going to be on Steam. It is going to be a PC Epic Store exclusive.
Well, hold on. I got a question for Jeff. We saw your background of all your console games. Do you play PC games also?
I do, yeah.
You play like pretty much everything.
Pretty much everything. That's that no kids lifestyle.
Yeah. Hey, I hear you, man.
Yeah.
Do you have an affiliation with one of the storefronts, or do you kind of just go where the games are?
I go wherever the game is going to be the cheapest.
Gotcha. I feel the
That
same
is where
way.
my loyalty lies.
Yeah, you cheap son of a bitch, according to Dan.
Hey, there's a difference between being cheap and still buying it. But so I'll read a little quote here. We entrust Epic to deliver a smooth journey to our fans, from pre-ordering the game to enjoying our beta to the launch of Tom Clancy's The Division 2 on March 15th, said Chris Early, the vice president. Epic continues to disrupt the video game industry, and their third-party digital distribution model is the latest example and something Ubisoft wants to support. And a little bit more backstory is they're doing an 88-12 split on revenue share, which is pretty much the main reason why anybody would want to go over to the Epic Store. Bigger cut of the money. So aside from this, they also have the final season of The Walking Dead as an exclusive as well, but I think this is a much bigger get. I think this is one of the first nails in the coffin of Steam if they don't do something sooner than later.
I mean, do you think Epic could really snatch up Steam's market share of all the games?
They do.
I mean, the creators are getting what, an extra 20% at best of the revenue? I mean, that's a lot of revenue for like, say, you and I making a game. But somebody who's making $100 million, do you think $110 million is really gonna push them over to a different platform?
The install base is enormous. Fortnite's the biggest game in the world. I said this a couple of times. We're all sitting here. Maybe if none of us have ever been logged into the Epic Store, which I have because they're giving away free games, I'd recommend you can get Super Meat Boy if you log in today, and then tomorrow you get What Remains of Edith Finch. Good games to give away. But we all have Epic accounts. I'm assuming, Jeff, have you played Fortnite at all?
I have, yeah.
So all four of us are sitting here that are already, if not invested in the model, we already have the account made. So, the next thing is just to start selling other people's games. I mean, if the drawback is the only thing that Steam has going for it right now is that there's a large user base. There's a large user base of Epic users as well.
So I think it's premature to say that it's a nail in the coffin. I think it's.
I didn't tell you how many nails there were going to be.
I think it's just the first.
Could be a very large coffin.
It's the first decent grab, but something I didn't think about before is I wonder how long they can hold the exclusives now that they're opening it up to a multiple market share. Like you said, Super Meat Boy is free, but Super Meat Boy is on like everything. So
that's just what they're giving away for free. They gave away Subnautica a month.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's a game that appears on all the different platforms.
Mhm.
So that's not particularly a draw. Like right now,
It is if you don't have it.
Yeah, well, Division 2 will definitely be a draw, but if you don't need to buy it day one, I wonder if it won't eventually wind up on the other platforms.
What's the incentive? I mean, they're getting more money if you download it on the Epic Store than Steam. So if it's selling well enough, they have no incentive to push it over to Steam.
No,
they're
it
making
wouldn't be anytime soon, but it would be sort of like the console ports, how like old games have a tendency to randomly pop up on Steam. So what's the difference if, in a year or when the Game of the Year version of Division 2 comes out, that they wouldn't just put it on all the platforms and get as much money as they can from anybody who just hasn't picked it up, who's not an early buyer? Because I usually don't pick up games the minute they come out, because especially nowadays, you wait like 6 months to a year and you can buy the goddamn Game of the Year edition and not have to sit there and keep coming back for every little DLC. Just skip it for a while and then pick everything up all at once. And I would suspect by that sort of time, it may actually just appear on everything else.
Well, it sounds like this is not a big enough get to pull you off of Steam. It is for me. I was looking forward to this game, and this will probably be my first purchase over in the Epic Store. Jeff, are you going to head over to the Epic Store for either this game or maybe to make some other purchases?
Well, I can tell you specifically with Ubisoft is I've hated Uplay as long as they've had it. So I only buy Ubisoft games on console because I don't have to directly deal with logging into their launcher.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not enough to get me to go to Epic for that, but I'll go to Epic for anything else they want to offer.
If a game, do you see the benefit of going to the Epic Store just to maybe give a little bit more money to the developer, maybe of a small game, or would you rather buy it on Steam where where most of your friends are at?
It would really depend on where my group is at.
Gotcha.
More so than the developer getting a little bit more cash, which would be nice, but
yeah,
it's not about them. It's about
let's
me.
be real. Yeah, that doesn't affect us at all. So.
No, the thing, I'm not the best subject for this because I'm a relatively new PC gamer. I built my PC not that soon before we started doing this, so it hasn't been that long. And my friends list on Steam is exactly the same length as my friends list on Epic because it's just like you guys. So I don't really have that draw and that friends list and that core to keep me going back. But Steve, is there a game that would be if Epic got it as an exclusive, it would just be an instant download? I'm going over. Is there anything that could pull you away from your Steam library?
Currently, nothing really comes to mind. I'm not a die-hard fan enough of anything that's gonna pull me over.
Terraria 2.
If they made Final Fantasy 11 without a monthly subscription and you could play every single expansion, I would go over.
Well, I was thinking about this because I was like, why is it that I don't like to download all these different platforms? And I think it's the same as, it's not an exact similarity, but it's like any streaming service for movies, right? Like you can wind up with like fucking Hulu, Crackle, Prime, Netflix, and soon to be there's going to be like 20 other ones because everybody's taking their ball and going home. You're going to wind up with the fucking Disney one. You're going to probably wind up with actually I was going to say Sony exclusive, but that is or was Crackle if that's still around. And we're just
you can
going to
watch
see
you can watch the exclusive Crackle movie Joe Dirt 2 on Crackle.
yeah. But currently the movie industry and show streaming industry is like fracturing, and you're kind of seeing that in the game market too. But at the same time, people only really are going to get invested in one or two of the platforms. It's hard to find somebody who is involved in all of them, or at least actively involved in all of them. Like
this is a little bit different situation. This is more of like an
is.
iTunes versus Google Play Music type situation.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I
where
don't
they're
have
offering the same content. Like Hulu and Netflix aren't offering the same content.
Yeah, like I don't listen to any
the
other
most part.
streaming like music service other than iHeartRadio, and I actually have a subscription to it because
You're the first person I've ever met that has a subscription to iHeartRadio.
I
You have
know,
a Pandora Prime account too.
Their system sucks dick,
Man.
but the
I
only reason
cultivated my Pandora account over like 10 years and I don't use it anymore. It's very upsetting.
Yeah, I only did it because I started keeping a playlist, and you can freely skip everything. You can, especially when it comes to like podcasts, there's like a skip button for a little bit of time, so you can just skip through commercials. There was a lot of quality of life things if you paid the subscription, so I did it. But because of that, I'm not going to go anywhere else. I'm not going to lose my playlists just to move to a different service. Now, streaming for movie services are a little different because it's all either subscription watch it now based or temporary rental, so it's a little different, and there's a little bit more freedom there to be like, I'll keep Netflix for 2 months, watch what I want, dump it, pick up Hulu, watch the new Star Trek or whatever else you're interested, dump it, pick up a new one. But since there's a little bit more investment in it, like it's hard to pull me away from Steam because I just don't want a computer cluttered with all these fucking services with all these games all over the place, whole bunch of different friends lists. Like every time there's a sale, I don't want to have to go through like 5 different systems to look to see which game is going to be the easiest and best. It's just easier to stick with one if there's not enough of a draw to start breaking it off. So like currently I have Blizzard because Blizzard has just their games. They're all pretty good. And Steam. Technically I have the Uplay launcher because that comes with some of their games, but it's sort of like a weird little hybrid. And it fucking sucks. It's really awful.
But it's always there waiting for you.
I know. It is the most annoying piece of crap. I played Far Cry 5, and every time I play that game, it sits there and it's like, oh, the Uplay thing says you have rewards available. And I'm like, there's nothing to claim. I don't have any rewards. But every time I fast travel, it's like, guess what you got? You got some rewards. You should check them out.
I mean, that pops up every time I open Discord, too. Like, Discord tries to throw these, like, games and shit at me, I think.
Yeah, well, Discord
Fucking
also,
annoying.
they made their own storefront too, and they actually just lowered their take down to the same as the Steam, the Epic Store, to try to compete with them. I don't know that Discord's ever gonna
They got to go down to, like,
Actually,
95.5 if they want to pick up,
something like that.
Division 2 or something. Everyone
yeah.
uses Discord, right?
That was their idea, and they have the launcher too. So even games that you have in your Steam library, you can launch in Discord. You don't have to. You can launch it right out of Discord. So they're thinking, well, man, if people are already here and launching their games through us, they might as well just download them from us too, because you're open enough Discord no matter what.
Yeah. So I wouldn't switch, and there's probably not a whole hell of a lot that's going to make me switch, because most of the super popular games that come out nowadays aren't really stuff that I'm interested in. Like the current past year or so hot thing has been the battle royale games. I don't give a fuck about those. So if I really, really liked them, I would own both PUBG and I would play Fortnite. And so I'd have the Epic Launcher because that's where everybody is. But I don't play PvP games anymore. I don't tolerate other people anymore in my games, and I usually don't have enough time to get invested in long PvP matches because there's no such thing as pausing. So there probably isn't going to be anything that's enough to move me away from the convenience of Steam. But I am going to put that asterisk of probably, and I'm an outlier because I'm sure there's plenty of other people that don't mind. They don't care. It's just an icon on their computer, or kids.
It's a friends list too. I mean, it's not. I could understand, and we're getting in this day and age where everyone's like, oh, we want to play a game everywhere. Like, we want it to be like Fortnite, where you can log in and play with all your friends on no matter what system you can play on. And I love the idea of that, but with that comes I need to have an account with this game, and I hate having like developer specific accounts. That's why I think I'm gravitated towards a service like the Epic Store, because what they're doing is making it so they'll do the legwork, and maybe Ubisoft won't ever peel off like Blizzard has and like Activision has and force me to have a different account for all those things, because that's a different login is what I hate the most. So a different storefront, if I have just Steam and Epic, I'll keep both of those. That's two. But now I have Steam, I have Epic, I have Battle.net, I have, every single thing, my PlayStation, my Nintendo, that you need 1,000 different logins for all these different things. So I think I'm just so invested in this Epic Store because I want it to be so successful that everything just goes there and I only got to remember one password.
I don't think that kind of stuff's going to go away because that's just like if you have a popular enough game with internal what is it? Not DLC.
I'll be right back in a second.
Microtransactions.
Yeah, you're gonna get that. I mean, you can't even get away with that with Rockstar. They have their own stupid fucking things. So you play Grand Theft Auto, you gotta have a Rockstar account, and then you gotta buy your Shark Bucks or whatever it is. But
I think you don't need to have a Rockstar account if you're playing on a console. I think you don't. I think you can just buy them right through the whatever marketplace.
They probably have better integration, but that did bother me. I mean, I didn't play online, but they still pestered you about, it was sort of like any Ubisoft game. It just sort of popped up and came with it as soon as you had the game.
The crappy thing about your camera not working, Jeff, is I can tell when Steve wants to say something because his eyes kind of get big, and then I can naturally pause my my sentence. I don't know when you have anything to say.
I'm just lurking until there's an opening.
All right.
Well, what is your take on it? What is? I mean, would you just download any sort of platform as long as there's a decent enough game, or is there a level of like convenience to which you're like, fuck it?
I figure if I go to a new system, it's going to take me 10, 15 minutes to integrate my old friends list to a new one. If they're going to give me a good price on a game, I'll pick it up.
Okay. So it's just price over convenience.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You don't cultivate the wall of video games behind them, not value shopping every once in a while.
I still have a wall of video games.
Yeah, they stopped being made in like 2002. When was the last time you bought a video game in like at a store with money in a case?
Probably like 3 years ago when we bought Pokemon.
That's not too bad. I would have thought it was longer than. I think I've asked you that question before.
Yeah, no, it was definitely Pokemon. But
I'm done. I'm all digital. Like, we're gonna go off on tangents, and we might just skip the next topic because it's not that interesting. Because this whole topic is fascinating to me. Because I'd love to hear Jeff's, because I see that enormous wall of video games behind you, and as a guy that just recently decided he was going all digital, I want to know what your take is on an all digital future.
It hurts me to my core. I love having these things sit on my shelf, look nice, and really kind of fill out the room. The camera angle you guys saw, it's only like a quarter of the room here.
Jesus Christ.
But it's the most packed corner of the room.
So I get the idea that physical media will eventually disappear, but the presence of an item for the game is still going to exist in just the form of special editions. Because it would be before you could have a nice collection of shit behind you or in your room or whatever. Like I used to have my giant collection of Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis games, but then now almost every game you get is just like, here's a code. Here's a code and a bag and a statue. And so you still have stuff to put up. It's just not going to be a plastic case with a paper insert that says this is the game and this is what it's for.
The problem I have with digital is, and I get it when I turn my PS4 on, is I forget what I have.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll sit there and I'll go, oh, what do I want to play? I'll look through the lineup of games. No. Then I'll be like, oh yeah, I have a whole hard drive full of games that I have no idea what's on there.
Yeah, I've had to do that with Steam where like I'd buy 10 random, some cheap, some interesting games, and then they just get put on my master list of Steam games and disappear since I don't immediately install them. And what I've had to do is go back into my account and look at my transactions just to find out what the like other games are, because I'll just buy like a couple $5 games, play like XCOM for 3 months, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I bought some other stuff. I don't even remember what it is or how to even find it.
I get that with Humble Bundle keys.
Oh my god,
I
I have so
have
many of those.
hundreds of those. I have not moved over to my Steam account. Just sitting there.
Yeah, I gave up on that. I fell for that a couple years ago when Humble Bundle was still relatively new, and there'd be like one game I was interested in. I'd pay the extra $1.
Well, you
and
gotta
like
pay the extra $1.
Yeah, and they're like, here's 5 other games, and then I would give them out to a couple people. I would just claim them just to fill up my thing. And I have like 800 games on my Steam account, and I'm like, a good majority of these are trash.
No, what pushed me over the edge from physical, having the physical box to being all digital was when Amazon stopped doing their 20% discount. That was it. It's just like I saw you had some Switch games behind you. Saw quite a few Switch games behind you. Does it not piss you off to have to put the little cartridge in the system? Because it pisses me off.
I keep a top 5 on me at all times, and then I'll shuffle those out if I feel like playing something else.
Yeah, dude, it's just something so nice about just firing it up and seeing a whole little crossbar full of games and knowing, all right, cool, I'm gonna play one of these, and I don't have to go over and stick a little cartridge in.
I look at it this way though. Like 10, 15 years from now, you want to go play those digital games. Is it going to be there to download?
Yeah,
no, I hear you.
There's a suspect thing to that. I mean, I believe you and I are in the minority on this, but if at all possible to have a physical copy, I would like to, because then that you could always go back to that and have it and play it. Whereas,
except for the 450 gigabyte day one patch that fixes game crashing bugs that you're not going to be able to grab anyways. We're in a day and age now where you have a disc that doesn't have a whole game on it anymore.
Yeah, no.
I mean, almost anything isn't playable without some kind of patch.
Well, isn't most of the Switch stuff?
That's different. Yeah, no, almost
anything that comes on a CD, you're fucked.
No, it's the all digital future. I'm ready. I'm not only ready for streaming, like not a streaming service. I don't really want that, but I'm ready for a subscription service future. I want to pay $10 a month and then just give me 100 games, and I'll keep that service for 1 month. And then next month I'm going to get Xbox's service, and then a month after that I'm going to get EA's service. And I'll probably end up spending way more money on video games because that's how streaming services work or subscription services work. But that's the future I'm waiting for.
Nah, I'm happy with pay to quasi-own.
I'm telling you, we got to get this camera fixed. I can't tell if you're like.
Did you want to say something, Jeff?
Oh no, I just periodically like to go and see you guys stop for a couple seconds, and then just let you get back into it.
You're doing a good job there.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
don't know. I think I
what-
look good in my
Yeah,
picture.
I
there.
mean, I agree with Dan. Like, physical copies I think are going out of style nowadays. So, in 20 years, you're gonna be able to just download it into your brain anyway. So that's what I think's gonna happen.
Did you now you have 2 Switches, you have 2 copies of Pokemon. Do you have the physical copies or did you get digital?
I have a physical Let's Go Pikachu because that's what Sarah bought, and then I downloaded the Let's Go Eevee copy. So
So you
my
got
one
one
Switch,
each.
yeah, my one Switch has the digital, and the one has the actual cartridge.
Yeah,
I got a question for you,
Yep.
Max. Gun to your head, Pikachu or Eevee? Who you saving?
Which Pokemon am I saving?
Which Pokemon are you taking with you?
They're
think I kinda
slowly
like-
being lowered down into lava.
I kind of like Eevee more than Pikachu.
It's a solid choice.
Yeah.
I feel
mean,
like that's like the more mature gamer always goes towards Eevee.
Well, in this particular game, Eevee I think can do more. So I guess that's why I prefer Eevee over Pikachu.
Eevee is always the better choice because there's more options. You can turn
Swiss
it into
Army
what-
knife.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you turn into whatever you want.
I mean, even after the first generation, now there's like 10 different evolutions for it or something crazy like that.
After my week or 2 of playing Pokemon Go, I got so sick of seeing Vaporeons that I don't want to see Eevee ever again. So I'm Pikachu.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel.
All right. Well, I'm going to skip this next topic because I don't think it's that entertaining. We'll save it. We'll save the story that the topic was going to tell for another day.
The Overwatch.
Yeah. The last topic of the evening. Doom sound designer Mick Gordon is looking to put a heavy metal choir together for his next game. You guys got a good death metal voice you want to demonstrate on stream? Anybody?
That-
Oh my
Come
god,
on.
my cat.
Oh, the cat just
Does
flew
that
up into
help?
frame.
Yeah, I know.
I was hoping somebody
Yeah.
would give us a little growl.
Yeah.
But,
No, sorry, I got nothing there.
If you are a heavy metal singer and you to Austin, Texas, you can submit your demo to mick-gordon.com/666 to see if you can
Is
be in
that
the
a real
choir.
website? That doesn't
Yeah,
feel like it's a real website.
I think that's a real one. I think this has to be Doom Eternal, right? This has to be the sequel to Doom. There's going to be a heavy metal choir in Doom Eternal.
Didn't they just have a remake of Doom or something?
Yeah, I'm pretty
2016.
sure the second Doom is supposed to come out real soon.
It's
Kind of close for a new soundtrack.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Is
it's
it supposed to
probably
come out
next
before or
year.
after Rage 2? I don't even know.
I was gonna say I was pretty sure when we looked last time, it's due out relatively like it should be basically a done game, and they're just getting ready for release and advertisements right now.
Yeah, all we know is it's sometime in 2019. 'Cause I think Rage 2 is the next Bethesda game, and then Doom Eternal's after that. So we have some time.
I think you should bring up the list that we were looking at last week and have Jeff
Okay.
pick out what games he is excited there. Because I mean, he
Sure.
plays everything. So
Yeah,
I can give you one game that I'm waiting for more than any other game this year, and that's
Alright,
the new
let's hear it.
Fire Emblem.
You're Fire Emblem boy.
I love Fire Emblem.
You're like the first Fire. Like I've never met a Fire Emblem person before.
Strategy
Sell-
game and anime titties. What's not to
Sell-
love?
Tell me on Fire Emblem. I guess you just did. Strategy game
Yeah.
with anime titties.
So there you go.
I mean to get ahead of you guys there, but there's really nothing more to it than that.
Is that
Yeah, I don't know anything
that's a
about
mobile
Fire
game
Emblem
or is
besides
that
there's a
on
whole
like
shit
Switch?
pile of them in Smash
Sure.
Brothers.
Yeah, it's half of the Smash Brothers roster. You either need to speak Japanese to play the originals, or have a 3DS to play the what I think are the better good ones.
So is the new one coming out on Switch?
The new one will be out on Switch March,
have a-
April, May.
Yeah, they gave us a year. They definitely said it's this year, but they didn't give us a release date. I thought we were gonna have there was gonna be a big topic about a potential Nintendo Direct tomorrow. There were a lot of rumblings on the internet about Nintendo has had an early January Direct for the last 4 years, and they're definitely gonna have one. And then Nintendo dropped pretty much everything that you'd think were going to be in a Direct in a tweet yesterday. So I don't think we're going to get one anytime soon. I would have thought we would have gotten a Fire Emblem announced date.
I do love that Nintendo fandom where they've given you the same thing their entire existence, and people still lose their minds over, oh my god, is there going to be a direct tomorrow?
I do the same thing. A Nintendo Direct, I plan my work day. I put it on my calendar as like private appointment so that nobody schedules me because I need to watch the Direct. I need to be there while it's happening.
You just have a stream playing in the background, and then whenever it picks up, you're ready to go.
Yeah, damn straight. Do you have anything else that you're Steve? You go ahead and ask a question if you're still on Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, did you play the mobile game that was popular for a hot minute there?
Did I? I still do.
I think it's still.
I was gonna say that's still pretty popular.
Yeah.
That's the perfect bathroom break game.
Good old gotcha. Do you Al? All right, so you sound like a pretty big Fire Emblem fan. Are you spending money in Fire Emblem?
Oh, hell no.
All right, okay, I was gonna say.
You're not that big of a fan.
Not that big.
Not big enough to buy a second phone and play a second account?
Yeah, come on, dude.
Simultaneously.
What are you doing?
You
Trying to get by
second
Star
ever see those pictures online of like the Japanese guys that have 15 phones playing Pokemon Go on a bunch of them?
Yeah.
I picture that's what you look like behind the camera, where there's just a whole wall of switches, just all shiny hunting simultaneously.
Dude, I wish if you could somehow sync your Joy-Cons to all like feed off of one Joy-Con, so I could like do my trades from like 10 switches at the same time just by pushing one.
Hearing it out loud, I'm shocked it doesn't exist.
There probably is some sort of.
There has to be. We can do it.
machine.
We can figure it out.
Yeah, you just get like a big piece of plywood and glue all of the Switch controllers.
Yeah,
in,
just a
like,
bunch of rubber
two
bands. And
rows.
you
Well,
have like
I've
a
seen-
connect.
I've seen
like-
things on Reddit where people have like there's in the game you have to like trade Pokemon over and over again to maybe get a shiny. You have very low odds, so people make these little like spinner machines that keep hitting the trigger because all you have to do is hit the trigger, the A button. Just do it over and over again for like 12 hours. So they have these little machines that just go for 12 hours, and I guess they wake up in the morning, and they have a 1 in 4,000 chance of getting a shiny Pokemon.
I can definitely write you a script. They make little adapters that you can put like external controllers into your Switch, and we can make whatever button combinations happen automatically.
Yeah.
Ryan, give Nintendo more money and buy one of those Labos, and then build a machine from the Labo that auto shiny hunts for you.
I don't know what Labo is. What is that?
It's
like-
cardboard.
It's cardboard.
yeah, it's basically like a cardboard erector set / programming system, so you can build shit out of it. And
So it's like it
bunch of-
connects with.
with cardboard. Yeah, it like
Yeah.
it uses all the sensors in the Switch to like you could build a piano out of it, and then when you hit the keys, since it registers like movement or whatever, it'll actually play. There's one that was like a weird sort of exoskeleton mech suit, where it's like a system of pulleys to a backpack, and there's a bunch of dumb things you could do with it.
You should
but-
put one together on stream. I'll get you one, and we put it together on stream.
It's basically pre-garbage. It's not quite garbage
Okay.
yet.
So
Like when you
play with it
finish eating your
once, and then you
Arby's
throw it
and you
away.
get the box on your table, it's not garbage yet until you're
Yeah.
done with it. Then it's garbage.
I'm sure your cat will tear apart whatever you fail to make.
Yeah, well, then maybe I won't be spending money on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
the-
Cat
the-
Labo mech might be nice.
Oh my god! I think we just stumbled upon something.
You're welcome.
Well, that about wraps it up. Does anybody have any other topics that they
Well,
want to discuss this week?
Going on right now, I don't know if you're paying attention, but the Awesome Games Done Quick is going on right now. So I
Mhm.
watched somebody do a co-op run through Time Splitters 2 today, and I forgot how bad that game looked. But
Yeah,
they did it in
just-
like
it
30
doesn't age
minutes.
well.
I don't even remember. We must have played the first Time Splitters a lot more than the second one
Yeah, we
because
did.
I didn't recall
There was a
any
monkey
of
in
the
that game,
levels.
wasn't there?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about like speed running, because it's definitely something that's taken off the last few years. But I sort of understand the appeal of watching people play games via like Twitch or like YouTube. And I understand there's like a ton of skill and practice that goes into being able to speed run a game.
Sure.
But
You got to
I-
memorize like everything.
Yeah, I can't get into it though. It's not something that has ever appealed to me.
I actually, believe it or not, I started watching Mitch Flower Power on Twitch. He's a Super Mario Brothers 3 speedrunner who recently just broke the 100% world record. And if you watch the video, you'll see a shit ton of no chancey emojis in there because I was in the chat when
Oh yeah.
when he did it. But I didn't get it either until I think Mex kind of opened my eyes up to what the allure of watching somebody do something over and over again is. And it's the sense of I don't want to miss him do it. Even if that thing is like in Mex's
so boring
case.
to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you're still there and there's a community and you're having fun chats and things like that. But if I've watched you sit in one spot for an hour, I'm gonna be fucking pissed if I don't stay for another 15 minutes and see you get the thing that you've been waiting for the entire time. And that's like I heard you say that you're gonna start doing some stuff off stream, and you better record that stuff. There's a little record button.
Yeah. People are letting me know that like the left-hand Joy-Con has like a record thing that you can record like 30 seconds.
Yeah, and we can get them onto the YouTube channel and probably quadruple our freaking views because people love Pokemon. But so watching Mitch Flower Power, I watched him. I just used to toss him on when I was playing other things and just watch him just do the same thing over and over again. And then he eventually beat it. And I happened to be there, and it was just a cool experience. The chat erupted. Everyone was just throwing bits at him and spamming emojis. It was a good time.
Yeah, no, I do enjoy the speedrunning things. I think it's really cool.
Jeff, do you have an opinion on speedrunning or awesome games done quick?
It's impressive, but I don't have enough time to sit with one game to begin with, let alone memorize a game from start to finish.
Not saying necessarily learning it yourself, but just watching other people do it, I guess. Is that something you've done in the past, or you don't?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You go down that YouTube rabbit hole where you just leave it on and things just start auto playing.
Yeah, like today I watched somebody play Warcraft 3, which I loved. I played the shit out of that game when we were younger. I watched somebody play Time Splitters 2, a co-op. I watched somebody play Halo Reach before I fell asleep.
I was watching that one
like
too.
A half hour.
Yeah, I was watching that one too.
And then after that, they started playing Zelda Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess, yeah.
Which it said that game came out in 2006. Was that something like Mazzetti was playing when we were in college?
It was a GameCube / Wii. It came out on both simultaneously. I think he had it for GameCube, and I think Bondi had it for Wii. I think he was pretty much playing nothing but Kingdom Hearts at that point. So
yeah. Ugh, Kingdom Hearts.
Not excited for Kingdom Hearts 3.
So that's one of those games. I have it on the PS3. I have it on the PS4. I pre-ordered 3. I haven't been able to actually sit down and play through the, what is it, like 47 games they have?
Oh, let's see. They got
the story, the movie.
9 games. You have the ones for the DS. You have the ones for the 3DS. Yeah, there's a lot of them.
I got to the point where I can't even watch like a 4-hour recap of it just to get caught up because that sounds too daunting.
I mean, are they all different games?
They're all long RPGs.
I mean, I've never played any of them, but you say there's 40 different games. Are they all like each individual games?
Like there's like nine different games, but then there's the like almost director's cut or the director's cut plus.
I see.
So you never really know the right order is like.
They've had a history of re-releasing these games in like a 0.5, 0.8, 0.9, where they just add like 20 minutes of extra story to the end. You got to play it again. That sounds awful. I don't want to do any of that, but people are so excited about it. Go ahead.
The worst thing about Kingdom Hearts is it takes like half an hour to get interesting. And then after that, you got like another 30 hours before the cool stuff happens, and everybody tells you, "Oh, just keep playing it, get to the cool parts." And
no,
you're just sitting there hitting shadows with a key.
That's exactly what people said about Final Fantasy, whichever, the one with like lightning.
Anything after 10.
Yeah, because they're like,
"Hey, don't be dissing 11. 11 was our jam."
You're not. If you ain't a fan of Final Fantasy 11, you came to the wrong place, buddy.
I'm sure I got it behind me on the shelf, but
well, that was the MMO.
Okay.
MMO.
Yeah. That was the OG MMO that we all got involved with after or during high school.
You ever get into any MMOs? You an MMO player at all?
No, not at all.
What do you, like? What's your jam? Like, what? You told us what your favorite games were of all time, and they were, some Game Boy games and mostly single player experiences. Do you get into multiplayer games at all?
It really depends on the core group of people I play with, what they want to play. Because you guys saw, I'll buy anything. You tell me it's a video game, and you can play it, and I'm like, oh, cool, sounds fun. I'll pick it up. But it really depends on what the group, like you guys have kids and wives and things like that, and they do too. So it's really up to them.
If a game comes out on every single console, do you have a specific console you would rather play on?
Depends.
Depends.
If it's a franchise like, say, Resident Evil, and I associate that with Sony, I'll pick it up on the PlayStation. Otherwise, it really depends on what the group is going to play it on most. Like my group right now, we got PS4, Xbox One, and it's pulling teeth to get them to turn an Xbox on. Because the dashboard just confuses the hell out of them.
I think X is the only one out of us that has an Xbox, and it's essentially just a Rock Band machine.
Yeah, I mean, I bought the Xbox One specifically just to play Rock Band, so.
Yeah, I've seen some of those streams you have.
Yeah, we haven't done one of those in a long time, but I do enjoy.
You should bust it out again and see if what it's like having people in chat while you do it, because you pretty much were playing for yourself for the countless hours you were playing before.
I enjoy me some Rock Band.
Are those all still muted?
Probably, yeah.
Well, no, we're not partnered yet, so it only keeps stuff on for like 14 days. So a lot of that stuff is falling off.
You have to actually download it and repost it if you want to keep it on the stream. Yeah. Hold on, I'll be right back in another second.
So, question for you, Jeff, because we touched on this a few times before, but what are your thoughts on the classic consoles that are being released the past year or two?
It's like little mini guys.
They're neat. I'll give them that. But really, I have a Super Famicom Classic is the only one I've actually bought. So I always wanted to pick up a Super Famicom, but I never got around to it. But really, the whole point of a classic console is to mod it, put your own games on it.
Yeah.
And you can do that on
a PC.
So many devices. PC, NVIDIA Shield, Raspberry Pi.
Your mobile phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can play them anywhere. But I think that's more geared towards a casual, I remember playing that when I was younger.
Yeah.
And then
I haven't talked to a single person that actually, I'm really glad I bought time.
No, mine's just a nostalgia machine that I may or may not turn on at some point. I was thinking about it because the PSX that's a piece of shit because they dropped the ball and their game choices just fell $40 in price. They way overmade, totally undersold because they picked just an awful selection of games. But I was looking at it and I was slightly tempted to be like, if this shuts down in a little bit, maybe I'll pick one up for $30-$40 and then mod some new games into it. But I looked at the current modding thing and I was like, oh, there's absolutely no point in doing that. I would rather just emulate it on my PC and play it rather than have to go through all the steps to put it on a USB, make files and folders specific to that, and then put them on, the shitty little not console.
I mean, if you're better off just getting a Raspberry Pi, downloading RetroPie, which has all the emulators already on it. If you don't have access to a 3D printer, which you do because you work for the same place that I work, and everybody has access to 3D printers. And
I thought it was students.
You have free filament that you can download. I forget how many grams you get for free, but you could just print yourself out a little case. It could be whatever you want it to be. You go on ThingMaker. and pick whatever you want it to be. It could be a little PlayStation, and you can make it look just like the PlayStation Classic if you wanted to.
I could even print out a gun if I wanted to.
They probably wouldn't let you print the gun.
Probably not.
can
if it's being
try.
monitored. I actually have the blueprints for it.
Well, you're on a list now.
Yeah.
Hey,
well,
Mitchell, what's going on?
It was ages ago when that weirdo guy like first invented it, that the government was like, oh no, you can't have those, and so he was freely giving them away. And just for shits and giggles, I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll download a copy. So it's like sitting somewhere, but I was like, this is the biggest piece of shit that'll blow up in your hand in like one try. So I was like,
But it'd be free for you, so it's the biggest free piece of shit.
yeah, I guess, but I still wouldn't even attempt it. That's probably the worst idea ever.
To go to your place of business, which happens to be a medical institution / university, and print out a gun. Yeah,
Actually,
that probably is.
Do you remember that game that we played, Keep Talking or the Bomb Explodes?
Yeah.
So I printed out like 5 copies
Oh,
of
Jesus
that manual
Christ.
at work, and I was sitting there like guarding the printer just to make sure nobody walked by as the cover page printed out and said bomb defusal manual all over the front of it. I was like, I could see that not going very well.
We're doing pretty good, Mitchell. We are just closing out a podcast that we do here every Wednesday, talk about games, and we're just hanging out here a little bit afterwards, discussing some other things with our newest member, Jeff, and trying to figure out what he's all about. Well, Jeff, did you have fun? That's the most important part, because we can't pay you, and this is just for the fun of it.
Yeah, I gotta say, it was a pretty good time.
Good stuff, man. I think that you will fit just in, and I'm really glad to have a gamer that's going to be on here from week to week, hopefully, if you decide you want to come back for another round, because Steve plays nothing but PC games, and they're all like a year and a half old, and Mex only plays Pokemon. So it'll be nice to have some other input.
No, yeah, I'll play whatever you guys want to play.
Good.
Sorry, I missed a little bit there.
No, we're just closing out the show here, talking things through.
Okay.
Mex, you have any closing arguments
for anything? No, I'll
anything
be streaming Pokemon all week. Come check me out.
Please, hey, either use social media, for the love of God.
I told Sarah to start like doing it, but we'll see. She's been doing like Instagram posts, I think.
Yes, I saw the Instagram. I saw Facebook. She can have the main channel account.
Did I get all the shinies yet? No. We're getting there, though. We're getting there.
Yeah, you have to. You can't spoil it. You should have said we have to stop in tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Excuse me. Stop in tomorrow and find out, Mitchell.
So bad at
But
this.
also, no.
But also, yeah, no.
So what? You have one left, right? Like
No,
one left that's just out in the wild. The rest of them you have to do bullshit for.
Yeah. So I got 9 left, and then I have to go back and like catch 60 more again, basically.
Yeah, to complete the living decks, but you have to do like the resets to get
like fossils,
fossils,
legendaries, Mewtwo. Yeah, so it's gonna be rough.
Ryan, I have a dumb question for you, because sometimes I have trouble following along in the streams because it's so like Pokemon centric, and while I do enjoy Pokemon, like it's difficult for me to just like pop in there and chat with people because it's all that. But the last time I was on, there's that guy who ripped off the mod, the other guy, Dan.
Yeah.
How exactly did that go down? What happened? How did he give him a Pokemon that he didn't expect to and or want back?
I don't know. I guess he was just trusting that he would get it back. You know, you don't really go in expecting someone's going to rip you off. But it also wasn't something like super duper important, so it wasn't a huge deal.
It was just supposed to be, I think, like a semi-decent app.
Yeah, I mean, it was a decent Pokemon, but it wasn't like a shiny or anything, so it wasn't that huge.
I mean, like, what were they doing that led up to a guy even be able to snatch it? Like, I don't just randomly open up trade windows with people in games and MMOs and be like.
I think he
"Oh,
was asking to like complete his Pokedex, so like the mod was trying to help him out.
He was just trying to borrow it for a specific task.
Yeah, just to trade it into his game and then trade it back, basically.
Okay, I see. That was lost on me, so I was like, why? Why did it get to the point where he gave him something, or
Yeah.
was even able to give him something by accident?
Yeah.
That the other guy could just take it and run. I was like, what's
No.
the deal there?
Yeah, I mean, some people are bad, so you know, that's just how it is. You know. I guess we got
we got a question from the
yeah,
chat.
one more
Yeah.
question tonight. Steve and Dan, what do you guys play? You guys don't play Pokemon, so and I guess Jeff too. I know we kind of already went over this, but give us a quick game right now. Go, Steve.
Yeah. So I mentioned this before that I'm more of a video game locust. That I don't generally finish games. I just play all of the enjoyment that I have out of them till something else shiny and interesting comes along. So my tastes have a tendency to change. Like currently, I'm playing XCOM 2. Previously, I had played the crap out of Far Cry 5 and some things in between. So I'll usually jump between like an FPS game to a tactics game to, I don't know, an RPG. And it'll just keep cycling around whatever looks interesting and what's on sale, what's out.
Dan.
I played nothing but Final Fantasy 11 and then into World of Warcraft for my entire college and after college career. So that was my entire gaming library until currently. Now I play pretty much every Nintendo and PlayStation exclusive because they've all been pretty awesome. So third person action adventure games have been pretty much my jam for the last forever.
Yeah, Jeff, what are you playing right now?
Right now, I'm jumping between Yakuza Kiwami 2 and Persona 5.
You excited about Joker coming to Smash
Sure.
Brothers?
Should be interesting. I don't know if I'd say excited. That's
Do you
another one
think-
of those
Do you
Kingdom
think that
Hearts.
he learns? Is he going to stand the test of time
It's
as like
an
an important enough video game character to be in Smash Brothers?
Get out of here.
That's my
No.
question. I didn't think so.
It's
really weird.
It's interesting to see what Nintendo's doing with it though, because I think they're using Smash DLC as a way to say, this isn't the Wii U. We're going to get new games. We're going to get third-party support, and this is how we're going to throw it in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we have to see a Persona 5. I think that's Persona 5 R is what they just dropped that trailer for like 2 weeks ago, last week. That has to be coming to Switch, right? Like
And that would
they're not
be
just-
the
they're not just
perfect
gonna-
place to play that game.
That's I've always been kind of scared of the Persona games. I didn't have a Vita. I had a PSP. I don't remember if they had any on PSP. They definitely were like Persona 4 Golden was like, I hear was like the best place to play that was on PSP. I think I might jump in on Switch. I think that might be, that's a good game to play for 20 minutes and put down, right? Like I can do that.
Maybe like 40 minutes and put
40
down.
minutes. I could do 40.
It's very much like dungeon crawler then visual novel for 20 minutes.
Sounds that's yeah, I could do that. All right. Well, we've gone for about an hour and 15. I probably should have closed the show out and then had like the little after show discussions, but I'm going to close it out right here. Thanks for joining us. We're Game Night Now every Wednesday here on twitch.tv/Game Night Now. We get together, talk about video games, board games, card games, mostly video games this week.
Actually, I was going to say we completely omitted all of that this week.
Hey, thanks, Mitchell. I appreciate that.
You can catch our VOD archive on YouTube. Just search Game Night Now. And we are also on every podcast service that I could feasibly jam this onto. So make sure to go over and subscribe to this over on your favorite podcast service. For Mex and Steve and Jeff for the first time, I'm Dan. Thanks for watching.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye-bye.